Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero strike defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious 1v1 on Mill Road in the north. It is PFC fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. And the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps here with Armoured Assault Tactics featuring the T-35 Radio Intercept, Vehicle Crew Repair Training, IS-2 heavy tanks, and Sturmweg attacks. In the south it is Ashablois pretending to be PFC, but is actually not PFC, fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the Hermann Göring Fallschirmpanzer Division with Spearhead, Jaeger Infantry, and Ostrom. We got a double grenadier start here for Ashablois, as we got a double conscious out for PFC. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters, one for people, one and all. Big thanks to you for supporting the Propagandacast. Other people enjoy the ranks by Patreon. They can also consider donating my PayPal. Links in the description of both. You can also, pre-order Communities 3 if you are going to do that, of course, by the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G, in which case, if you do that, I get a share of the sale, which definitely helps me out then. So, any big thanks to all those who have done so already. And finally, just comment, like, share, subscribe. So, 3 grenadiers here for PFC, 3 conscripts there for Ashablois. The shows more aggressive infantry builds are becoming steadily more popular with Wehrmacht players. It's not universal. It's not like they're all skipping the MB42. They just show, in a sense, delaying it to focus more on getting out more infantry faster. So, southwards here, we got PFC moving forwards. Lots of sandbags here, fortifying the entire southern sector there against any German assaults where Ashablois, just made the mistake there myself, more or less, pushes northwards here against PFC. Sandbags here, sandbags there. Not there. In the centre, we got grenadiers. It looks like Ashablois is going to try and outmaneuver here. PFC take advantage of the fact he's focusing south or west, then move straight for the car point here with the grenadiers. We've got a 4th conscript there for PFC. Now, that's actually a bit rare in the current Soviet metagame, which is heavily focused on 3 conscripts, 2 engineers. But the PFC enough is not going for it. Of course, with a command like Armoured Assault, where you're not going to call in guardsmen, it does make a bit more sense, but it is nonetheless a bit interesting to witness here. Meanwhile, PFC with a 4th grenadier squad here, the assault on the car point has been cancelled for now here, as PFC and the Red Army moves in to stop Ashablois' assault there and prohibit such a push. But looks like they're going to try and make a push from the car point themselves, but there you go. Ashablois has a grenadier squad themselves ready. So infantry versus German. If you've got PFC actually with their 2nd engineer squad as well, so he's going to go for a lot of troops in the early game, a lot of moving pieces on the board. Grenadiers here, responding to conscript in the centre here. More pushing northwards here. Things are about to get pretty heated up here. Yevgeny, Dmitry, drop dead first here. Conscript engineers tank from the north here, catching here. Ashablois grenadiers in a bit of a crossfire there. Unteroffizier Ludwig Hermann holding the line here, but can't hold for much longer. Controls right up, flamethrowers are here, burning through the grenadiers here, forcing retreat here. As bunched up that much in light cover, even in light cover, they're going to take a lot of damage. There, got a wipe on Ashablois in the early game. A huge kill here for PFC. 240 manpower straight down the toilet. A successful victory there on the tactical level here for PFC, significantly increasing a chance to get some early hand advantage or early game advantage versus Ashablois here. This is really powerful. Ashablois there commits to another grenadier squad, delaying anything else they might have planned here, just to make sure they have enough infantry on the field here to match PFC's numbers. Engineers have been focused down with the grenadiers here. Worth noting, they have been merging conscript engineers here to get them back to full strength here. Thumbs up to PFC. Send secured, conscript retreating. Medics up. We'll definitely need some serious reinforcements healing here. Conscript force reinforced engineers again. Oh dear, has to retreat in this case. If he'd done that, hadn't paid attention, he would have sacrificed the entire conscript just to reinforce the engineers, which would have been, well, great for Ashablois there if PFC had made that mistake. Let's move forwards here. Tech done. I'd like to make a nice company up here. I imagine Ashablois will go for the 2-2 here to push back against PFC, though could surprise us with a flame for half track. Most likely, though, won't surprise us with that. Most likely will not. Got his flank up behind the conscript engineers backing up. Back here, enforcing him as well, setting forward to the engineers. Not fully enforced, but again, in a pinch can be merged with using conscripts, obviously. Here by the western victory point, PFC's positions are being slowly weathered down here by Ashablois as Morgan has been committed here to this assault. Constable flanking in here, catching Ashablois Grenadiers. Impossible. Bit of a crossfire here, though. Not a big one yet. Not a big one. And certainly we need more Topsy of Flame for us to really make this work. In the center that Ashablois realizing they need to push elsewhere than just the northwest, though. At the same time, they need forces here to defend the fuel points. So it's a bit of a tricky business here between PFC and Ashablois. Lots of infantry from both sides. Plus some extra engineers there for PFC. Bit short on the fuel there, but can now go for an armoured car or the half-track. Does commit to the armoured car. Though arguably, with that much infantry, having a half-track to reinforce the troops in the field and give them some extra mobility could be a really strong move there for PFC. But again, armoured car, though, is just also a very, very solid choice. And this reason units like, the number 1 unit they'll go for once they got the light mechanized company up. It's good. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. But there you go. PFC further reinforcing this early game advantage here versus Ashablois. Laying down sandbags, even as he sees the Ashablois fuel point away from him. Definitely a rough start there for Ashablois. Not getting much better here as PFC just flawlessly, mostly flawlessly, pulls off, I think, a successive good assaults here. Just pushes back Ashablois. We got a bunker on the way. The armored cars arriving here. The 222. Leichte Panzer Spielwagen 222, ripping into the conscripts there like an irate teacher, ripping into an unfortunate student in the 1980s. Got the minesweepers on the way there for the Pioneers. Finding out the positions there. You need to get something going there for PFC. Armored car there, blazing through the conscripts' heavy cover. The sandbags ruined. They are stand exposed out in the open air before finally retreating here as PFC there and Lieutenant Gruber arrives in his little Panzer, as he likes to call it. The south there, consequently up here, engineers being about. Do we see any mines here from PFC? We do in fact see mines here from him. We'll have to see, of course, what Ashablois goes for next. Machine gun there seems likely, but Pack 40 also seems incredibly likely as we are at the 7-minute mark. And typically a good rule of thumb to keep in mind in Kamisu is around the 7-minute mark is typically when, a solo player will get out the T-70 unless they're really far ahead, in which case they get out sooner, or if they're really behind they can get out later, of course. But on an average match, 7 minutes is typically when you have to start worrying about that against the Soviets. Timings for some, light tanks for the Americans, I think roughly the same. With the British and the armored car, though, they can hit that up before you can get your own 222 out, though. So, but, rough rule of thumb there. We got demo charge in the building, erect to blow in the case of anyone, suspiciously German or not fervently going, "Go, Comrade Stalin!" So, T-7 all there for PFC and the Red Army. Minesweepers added here. Pioneers had to fall back here, Gunners bring up. The T-70 was a bit of a interesting tank, and there was basically just the putting together two different production lines for the T-60 and the T-50 light tanks. Basically just produce a single tank they could make while they're moving T-34 production lines away from the Germans. They didn't make it because it was a great tank. They made it because they needed to make some kind of tank to throw into the front line while again they're moving the other production lines ahead there. So, a little fun fact about the T-70. Constant getting Grenadiers here. Falling back up north. Got the 222 up there. Putting pressure on PFC. Do you have any light machines you have Ashablois? So far the answer to that seems to be 9. Could be they're planning something else. Or simply that Ashablois is under so much pressure from PFC currently that it's just slipping in a mind. A lot is going on there. Also worth noting, you get to see any of these 3 commanders being picked. The longer this is going on, less likely your infantry, so not Ostrom, so very likely spearhead at this rate in the south here. Constantly pushing forward to the PFC's Marxist command. And he's flanking in from the south here, catching the conscripts out in the open. Up north here, got the T-70 up. Pack 40 has a round course here for PFC. Ashablois, I mean, there we go, getting in out. I'm making the mistake, but I know this is Ashablois at least. He's flying back here. He's moving about. Got these swing 4 vets there for Ashablois. Should definitely add some light machines to those Grenadiers. I'm a bit surprised that it's not like Ashablois laying down a lot of mines or me. I mean, they could, I suppose, be planning Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Shakes maybe, but also I'm not entirely sure why they wouldn't start upgrading the Grenadiers to gain, more of an advantage versus PFC's infantry. Either way, the MG42 there will help Ashablois versus PFC, help control the infantry, but there's definitely a bit of disparity there in terms of victory points. I mean, almost half of what PFC currently has there. And resource-wise, PFC is also very much advantaged over Ashablois, getting, in terms of munitions, over twice as many munitions per minute. Fuel, it's not quite that big of a gap, but, you know, there's still one. Pack 40 shoots whiffs. North East comes with dug in the center there. Pack firing right at the T, sending more troops moving forward there for PFC. Still got that demo charge there, ready for a Stalingrad surprise. Mechanized armor company out there for PFC. Machine northwards there for PFC. Oh, I actually blocked. I did it again. Anyways, machine northwards there for the northern point here. Concentration force there for PFC against the pack. Plan using something about here with the T-10 light tank machinery positioning under Ashablois command. No tech yet there for Ashablois. Certainly feeling the heat here from PFC, and there you go. We are getting multiple light machines up. That's a total of 3 light machine gun upgrades there for Ashablois infantry in short succession. That will definitely heat things there up under PFC's infantry, though at this stage he can himself upgrade there with a mobilized reserves upgrade, which is also very powerful. So we'll have to see where that leads. Teasing Sulphur here for PFC. 3 kills, Veteran 2-1. Armor Carrying Norfolk here for Ashablois. 11 kills, close to Veteran 2. Teasing doing a bit of spotting there. Yuri, can I, like, not have to take cover behind the dead horse? I like to take cover behind the stone well over there. And yet, comrades, you must take pride in taking cover behind the dead horse. Oh, brilliant. Okay, and a surprise move here. Ashablois actually goes for Jaeger infantry fairly late into this. Goes for the command squad here. I mean, it's not like it's a bad commander, but typically you'll see it a bit sooner there. So, a bit surprised at the timing here, but that could arguably also be perhaps a small advantage here from Ashablois. Could perhaps blindside PFC here with a surprise, you know, Jaeger command squad out of nowhere, plus, you know, the potential for ambush camouflage, which is a really good upgrade, to be honest. Never mind, the sprint can also be quite handy in a lot of situations, like sprinting into Panzerfaust, or if you have Panzer Grenadiers, sprinting in to get into better range, or sprinting in to get your Panzerschrecks within better range as well, like Swiftly. There's a lot you can really do with just that simple sprint ability that I think is a very powerful yet overlooked ability. Oh, a thumbs up there for Ashablois if they make use of it. But again, we'll have to see if they do make use of it. It's, again, a very overlooked ability. Unfortunately, similar to how ambush camouflage can be somewhat overlooked, but it's not too overlooked. I'm definitely seeing more players use it, but I still think it's a bit of an overlooked ability, and particularly upgraded grenades for the, for example, light machine upgrade. It's very powerful there. Plus, an MG42 with it can also really do some heavy damage to enemy infantry. So, a lot of potential there with it, but again, it does require that Ashablois, you know, commits to it. And so far, no sign of that here, unfortunately, for Ashablois. Or fortunately for your PFC, because you really don't want your men to get like, killed by a surprise machine gun out of nowhere. He's running through the center there, constantly being met here with some fierce light machine gun fire here from Ashablois infantry. Armored car getting ready to do that. Conscripts firing the cover, steadily crumbling there, as the German army here unleashes a torrent of lead in the general direction. No armor yet here for PFC, guessing not a T-34 from 6, likely could be the T-45, and it's also not entirely impossible that PFC is scheming to install here for the IS-2 heavy tank, that's obviously going to be a tiny bit risky. Ashablois here with the second pack 40, clearly anticipating being on the receiving end of a lot of armor, and so wants to be ready, though at this stage, Ashablois could just try and push for the support more corn like rush out H2. Of course, maybe Ashablois has plans of their own that involves actually going for tier 4. There's a lot going on. The Jaeger command squad unleashing an ambush. Armor covers the T-70 field against the center here. Good shot there from the pack 40 in the T-70 light tank, doing quite a bit of damage here to the Soviet light armor. Gunners and center being met with fierce resistance from the conscripts, now forced to retreat here. I'm going to push for that northern point here. In the south, He's holding up. Demo charge still sitting ready to blow up at any moment's notice. Ashablois with the tech there. Up north, Grenadiers MB42 holding up against the advance here of PFC. Looking to perhaps outflank here Ashablois. For the northwest, that is not a bad path to take at all. Not a bad path to take at all. PFC, they're getting close to the T-Fed 45. So again, it is not impossible that PFC might already be now be thinking that he wants to go for the IS-2 heavy tank. TC falling back here, 6 kills of Etsy 2. He's moving forwards here. Sadly, no sign of any ambush camouflage here on Ashablois Infantry, except for that jaeger command scope, which starts with it automatically. Another field gun for PFC here definitely has me thinking he's going to stall for the IS-2. I mean, he's certainly been, in most cases, been ahead in terms of resources of Ashablois, so I mean, at this point, if you hadn't gone for the field, if you'd gone for the T-Fed for Eastern, give Ashablois a really hard time. So, to me, this really signals that PFC is going to be stalling for the IS-2 heavy tank here versus Ashablois, which definitely gives Ashablois more time to control the field, actually, like maybe turn the game around more in the favor. And they're certainly already kind of doing that here, so there's certainly an argument for that on the strategic level here. PFC is committing a mistake versus Ashablois, but again, something like, losing all speed and momentum to just, try and go for the big heavy tank. I mean, sure, it could work out, but there's also potential that Ashablois here gains more control of the field while, PFC is stalling for that big tank. The only way I think PFC could end up being sort of rewarded is if Ashablois also decides to go for the heavy pants, and decide to go for their big tanks, in which case PFC could arguably then, not be harshly punished for stalling for his big tank. So, will Ashablois build the support core, or will Ashablois try and go for something bigger, and at the same time, inadvertently, reward PFC for going for the IS-2? Certainly some big questions there. In the south here, we can see that PFC is launching assault here. Ashablois' lines are crumbling. Grenadiers are sent panic-making here. That, or they're sent, burning to the ground like really large torches. He's being held here by the MB42 in the armored car there, laying down a thick wall of lead here. Field bombarding the MB42. The first shot goes a bit short here. Knocks up some dirt. Gets the uniforms dirty. And there you go. Kills Wilhelm. The center of the command was the counter there. Veterans 1 gained. Close one then, MB42 needs to be careful there. T-70 snipes Otto. Certainly could snipe a few more. Hacks moving forward here for Ashablois in pursuit of the T-70 light tank almost guarded here. PFC ever slowly crawling towards that IS-2 heavy tank. T-70 knocked out. Ashablois, there we go, going for T4. And this does mean, again, there's not going to be a lot there to that, in that sense, punish PFC there by, pushing him with armor now. That said, on a map like this, Mill Road, again, there's certainly a tendency towards some choke points, which does make it somewhat easier to stall for the big heavy tanks, so still not recommended. T-70, by the way, abandoned, forcing PFC to wreck it himself, rather than risk it falling into the hands of the Germans. So yeah, working out somewhat well here for Ashablois, but again, they're going to be on the receiving end of the IS-2 soon enough. Of course, we'll have to see then if PFC can actually, say, leverage the IS-2 well enough, because it's one thing to go for a big tank, it's another thing to actually get full value out of it. You see a lot of players either throw it away immediately, or they end up being so skittish and concerned about it that they just basically have it collecting dust. Like, you have to be aggressive with your heavy tank, but at the same time not reckless, and that can be certainly a bit of a challenge to, like, hit that particular balance. Other players, I think, handle it pretty natural. But there you go, heavy pants got there for Ashablois. Unfortunately, this continuing using Norfolks. Ambush camouflage still here for Ashablois whatsoever. And of course, PFC, thanks to Ready Intercept, of course, will know that Ashablois has now built the heavy Panzer core, so they are probably starting to expect here a Panther. By the way, seconds away from the IS-2, has the manpower, the tech, the command points. And there we go, now has the field control in the IS-2 heavy tank, the Josef Stalin 2. Just needs to press the button and call it in. Just needs to press that button. The north inch enough PFC is not calling in the IS-2 heavy tank. Something might be preoccupying PFC's mind. He's just not paying attention at all. There we go. IS-2 heavy tank summoned 4 feet. The Yosef Stalin 2 heavy tank, adding the pin-mounted dish carry machine gun, equipped with a 122mm gun, designed for breaking through lines and bunkers and whatnot, but of course was also fairly well against tanks. That said, the IS-2 did have a very slow rate of fire due to the fact that the size of the shells meant that they had to be loaded into 2 parts, which significantly lowered its rate of fire. Jaeger command squad taking hit from the IS-2 as the 122mm high explosive shell just rips through them, leaving poor Friedrich there completely ripped apart, and another casualty is inflicted by the IS-2's machine guns. In the west here, Gunnese was the counter with the armored culture saloon 40. In the east side, though, it certainly potentially could be a disaster here for Ashablois as PFC unleashes the Yosef Stalin 2. Got the Ishka mounted. And there you go. Got Ashablois with the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5 to try and tame the IS-2. Field Wing 40 as well for PFC in the South Continent, advancing their victory points wise. We'll see Ashablois definitely doing some work there to try and, close the gap between the two. Got 176 versus 390. Cancels the Panther for Sturmpanzer, pretty much putting all of their faith and trust into the Pack 40 versus the IS-2. Risky, but I suppose not entirely insane depending on how PFC handles that IS-2. That said, it could also backfire on Ashablois if they rely too much on the Pack 40s and say, PFC counters them. But there you go, double pack fires, one hits a nearby cart. The second shot, though, hits the IS-2 and pierces the armor. Sturmpanzer almost there for him, and we got air support calling the packs and the machine, or pioneers in the center here. Definitely dangerous in particular with the packs get wiped out here. Yeah, good chance of it. Well, I think may have to consider cancelling the Sturmpanzer. Let's go for a Panther. Almost got one of the pack crews. Sturmwix, there we go. Rip through one of the pack crews. Think just one pack crew to go. MU4 George in trouble here. Second pack. Yeah, we go. Just narrowly in time. Cancel the Sturmpanzer right before it got finished and called for a Panther. Had they not done it in time, that could have been GG, because the Sturmpanzer on its own is absolutely useless against an IS-2. And now we might see more wipes here on Ashablois. There we go. Full wipe there. Grenadiers could fall. Squad number 2 could fall into the grave here as well. This is disastrous for Ashablois here. A huge moment here for PFC, delivering a kick right to the stomach there of Ashablois. Looks like they're able to crew one on the packs to get to safety here, but still these are some significant losses there for Ashablois. Second pack could still be destroyed. Definitely should be destroyed. Would be a bad here for PFC to allow Ashablois to get back that pack. More losses there inflicted. Another Grenadier squad there snuffed out from the face of this world. No Pioneers managed to grab the pack despite intense cert fire here. But that may not last long here. We got the Panther out here, of course. PFC is now Wares. Swooping hold back 10 kills. Close to veterans 1 already. What will PFC commit to next? Con squad there by pinned down. Need to get out of there. Could PFC be skimming for Katyusha or some mortars to deal with the support weapons? We'll have to see. Oh, we got the Panther running forwards here for Ashablois and the German army. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. As for R, which was the middle model of the Panther. The last model had been the G. There was technically the Model F. But that one never really saw service and an actual full put together part. There were a few Panther Model Fs with Model G turrets, which actually fought in and around Berlin, but not fully Model Fs, as the Model F Panther had a significantly different turret design. I should have been fixed up here in the center. We've got 2 Spring 40 on these seizing points. Still no ambush camouflage here for the remaining troops. Oh, he does have at least on the MD for 2 thumbs up there. South on the victory point here. But wide down, and we do get the Katyusha here. Obviously meant to help deal with the packs, as they are, as you might have noticed, only a bit of fit there to the IS-2 heavy tank. Katyusha 1 foot of the way down there. IS-2 running forwards. Grabbing the western point here. IS-2 rolling up. Backed up engineers. Katyusha is almost ready here for PFC and the Red Army. Pioneers, they're about to run into issues here, and there we go. Quickly in the face of the IS-2 heavy tank. They're definitely not sticking around to find out whether or not I can hit them. Katyusha there for PFC. Still hasn't tried to grab the building there. Inadvertently fortunate there for Ashablois. Yeah, Command's got that to find the position there. Compromised the IS-2. Fires off a hell of a shot there. But doesn't quite land the hit there. We got Tiller called in to push back the field gun, spying Ashablois more time. And we got another machine ready here. Should go, I think, for ambush camouflage on that one as well. IS-2 rolling forward here for PFC. Closing on Medicines 1 very slowly, but it is getting there. Crashing through the terrain, leaving many squirrels homeless or just straight up dead. Panther here from the Grenadiers on the IS-2 heavy tank. Pierces the armor, damaging the engine of the IS-2. Grenadiers are taking another hit here from the IS-2. They're almost getting wiped out here. Dishka and main gun there. Pack shoots very far range shot. They actually managed to penetrate. In the center though, Katyusha fire here. Forces back. Ashablois forces there. There doesn't leave, I think, any heavy casualties though. Still gets 3 kills. Southern Victor Book falling to the hands of the German army. In the north though, could try and make a move there for PFC. Sandbags in the center. And the IS-2 there back to being repaired. Could use the self-repairability to speed up the process. But may of course be they are setting up for... No? Are they going to use it? Or what's going on here? Grabbing a light machine gun. I mean, that's obviously not bad either. Sturmpanzer on the way now here for Ashablois. Once the gut line machine to prepare the IS-2 again, second unit moving up. Panther remains in the center. No machine guns there. And Ashablois Sturmpanzer 4 is almost ready there. Just needs a few more moments. Meanwhile, PFC's IS-2 is nearly there, ready to rejoin the fight. There we go, IS-2 out. Sturmpanzer 4 out though here for Mr. Ashablois, and there we go. Grenadiers found the IS-2. We got the pack in the south, getting off a nice shot against the IS-2. IS-2 that keeps firing away here. Very, very close to Veterans 1, and the fragmentation shell ability there. The south Engineers fighting for the Southern Victory point. We got here Ashablois ready to stop PFC's Engineers from grabbing it too easily, if at all. Goodson in the IS-2 here. We'll have to see in the center. Panther remains on watch. Up north, point is seized. Yeah, command squad creeping forward here. That for Ashablois, and there you go. Panther being hammered here by PFC's field guns, forcing Ashablois to pull back the Panther for now. This is obviously not doing any good, just being, you know, shot to pieces by Soviet anti-tank guns. That's just a waste. North the Sturmpanzer striking here, firing its 150mm gun here right into PFC's forces, forcing an immediate retreat there. As PFC can of course quickly imagine how that's going to go, he doesn't. Being pursued by the Sturmpanzer. Sergei and Konstantin there, eliminated by the Sturmpanzer. Infantry falling up. There you go. Field guns firing away. Only one penetrates the Sturmpanzer's armor. Concord almost wiped out here. Assault continuing with the air command. They're going to run straight to the eyes. So every tank. There we go. Dieter there. Still killed. And Dietrich might fall into zoom. There you go. Full wipe here on Ashablois. The air command squad down just 2 infantry squads. That is some rather significant losses. Meanwhile, though, the Luftwaffe strikes, taking out PFC's Katyusha. He was clearly not ready for that one. A devious call in here by Ashablois removes PFC artillery support, definitely giving a bit more room of freedom here to the pack. And the infantry, Panther support, Sturmpanzer, while they're bombarding the 2 field guns here. PFC being caught in a pretty rough position here. Already lost the Katyusha there. It's hurt morale, and now 1 field gun's gone. We got air support called in to catch the machine of the Pioneers here, but it's not looking great here still. For PFC, the Panther dives forward to the IS-2's almost knocked out. I got 14 kills, Veteran 1. Constant rushing forward here. Suddenly, though, Ashablois Panther in the full tree. There you go. Damage engine. Field gun destroyed here, though, by PFC. Aircrafts being knocked out of the skies by machine gun fire. And there we go. T-3485 on the way here for PFC and the Red Army. Can it get down time? I do not know. Need to fix up the IS-2. But PFC's committing it nonetheless here. Ashablois probably wants to try and take out that Sturmpanzer. You got a fresh air command squad for PFC. Thumbs up. Meanwhile, on the center, constant being ripped apart by machine gun fire here. As Ashablois does not slow down. At least not in that field. T-3485 almost done. IS-2 need repairs very, very bad. At this point, it just takes a single German sneeze, and that thing's going to go up like a ball of fire. Just away some shots there. Halfway to Destiny 2. The increased accuracy and range will certainly be helpful there for the IS-2 tank versus Ashablois. Got the T-3485 out here for PFC and the Red Army. Bring your total tank count up to 2. We'll have to see what PFC does next here versus Ashablois. We got 142 versus 266. Ashablois continue to do a great job there, bringing down the victory point count between the two. Meanwhile, up north, IS-2, it's almost good to go for PFC. You can use the self-repair there to expedite the process. In the south, the Jaeger command called caught by the T-35. We got the pack forward ready. He's going to turn the table in. The T-35 is not careful. But no, uses the train to quickly dodge that one. Close call, though. North Econ is caught catching the contrast there. IS-2 sitting out here for the Red Army. The glory of the Soviet peoples. But in fact, the contrast there suppressed them up with the MU-42. IS-2 rolling ahead very slowly. Sturmpanzer is activated in the danger zone there, and the Panther's also fairly damaged. But if PFC isn't aware of that, he can't quite exploit it. MU-42 being hammered by the IS-2. Two's been caught up. The field guns moving in as well there. Could be another devastating push from PFC against Ashablois. We've certainly seen them before. And at this point, if Ashablois suffers such a loss again, that could very well be GG. Steadily moving forward here. T-35 flanking in here. Infantry moving forward. IS-2 providing continuous fire support here. They may want to get up closer. May use some fragmentation shells against this softer target. Sturmpanzer being about here. Panther back at base being repaired. In the south, T-35 there. Racing through. Ashablois lines almost got the pack through here, but with the damaged engine, we'll have to fall back in. Nice mine there by Ashablois. Thumbs up. IS-2 moving forwards. A fragmentation shell could prove necessary. There you go. Got the pack crew there. Second pack crew could be in trouble as well there. If the IS-2 could hit. That is 16 kills, close 32. Panther being about here. Ashablois once more with a back against the wall here. Confined by the Red Army. PFC continue, of course, to be a very fierce and efficient opponent. There you go. Air support called in. Misses the T-35 there. Really close here. But there you go. Grenades are pinged from an angle. PFC was clearly not expecting. Panther fires on the T-35 and taking that before the IS-2 can turn its massive turret to fire the Grenadiers. A sneaky move there by Ashablois. That has definitely removed a significant threat from their table. Machine moving about it. Packs firing at IS-2 heavy tank, which is super close to T-2. Pulling back the machine before it gets turned into IS-2 fodder. I think that is a very sensible move there. More contra there for PFC. As for Ashablois, we'll have to see, but there you go. MD-42 caught here by the IS-2. Super close to 2 got 17 kills. Got the Panther flanking the IS-2 there. Ashablois drives aggressively forward here against the Red Army. There you go. Good shot from the field gun nearby. Pushing the Panther down to a very little amount of health there after some hits from the IS-2 as well there. Which is now Vetchi 2 there. 18 kills. Vetchi 2 there giving you a bit of better range and more accuracy. Which definitely helps make it better versus both infantry and armor. But mostly infantry, as it does mean, is more likely to hit them where it hurts. Okay, reinforcing healing, more pioneers there for Ashablois. Reinforcing healing, fix up the IS-2. There we go. Fixed up again. We got 110 versus 249. PFC continues to work hard to widen the victory point gap between him and Ashablois. Another T-35 here for PFC. Got one strafing running ready. MD-42 they're ambushing the advancing engineers. Looks like PFC's ready to consider another angle of attack here versus Ashablois. Not a bad idea at all. Up north, push Panzer strikes against the isolated Infantry. Very close ready to turn that heavy assault tank. So got the pack fires of the IS-2. Bounces off the armor. The IS-2 is standing there like a terrifying herald of Marxism. Just tracking off all of the damage here from the Pack 40 so far. We got 100 points, 99 versus 249. Ashablois does something with those victory points soon. This could very well be a Soviet win. Concord out in the open, IS-2 moving forwards. 20 kills. Hack bounces again. Stormhunter getting the Concord shot from the IS-2 though. Great shot on a trend though from the Pack 40 here. Panther is basically meanwhile in the south. Flanking the IS-2 here we got, the Stormhunters, we got the T-Fed rolling in, then we got Airsport Corner as well here, putting Ashablois in a bit of a top position here. Panther fires and the T-Fed fuck damaging the engine. Losses being inflicted here on PFC. Ashablois meanwhile retains most of the forces, even as PFC steamrolls ahead here. We got 90 fleets, 248 here. Panther pushing forward here. Panther half H52. The South Pack precision machine support holding up here as well. PFC I think would benefit not just from more infantry, but also mortar. Could provide PFC with some much needed flexibility versus Ashablois. We got 93 versus 242. Match continues on. Yeah, command squad's the contract in the center there. Bit of a standoff there. We got the IS-2 being repaired. It's ever slowly moving towards Spectre 3 and increased mobility and rate of fire, which is definitely bad news to be on the receiving end of. North aimed towards the contras there. '93 was 236. Bit of quiet here. No major moves from either side except some attempts to grab victory points and they sneak their way forwards, but no major large-scale attempts here to claim them. There you go, showing southwards. Looks like we might see another attempt to flank around here. Pete or Ashablois center position, plus striking from the south here. Straight into a telemine though with the IS-2 heavy tank. Not a great takeoff there for an armoured assault in the center. They're going to use on the watch here up north here. Continuous skirmish. Got the Panther versus the T-45 here. Panther landing some great hits here on the Sod heavy or medium tank. And we got a field gun there for PFC now. The IS-2 heavy tank ready to clash with Ashablois' armor if he can get there on time. Panther and Pack here looks like they're going to be pursuing the IS-2. And there go caught with the T-45 instead. PFC possibly using it as bait there to buy time for the IS-2 to get safe. But there you go, IS-2 ruins it all. Shoots right at the Panther, piercing through the side armor there, pushing it back. But of course, also signaling to Ashablois where the IS-2 is. And the fact that it's still not been fixed up with the engines and that theoretically could pursue. But there you go. Storm Punch was the constant cynical and Eastern when they can as well here. Well, the north center here, all the way pushed back. Able to withstand the awesome firepower of the German Wehrmacht. South here, concentrating in face of the command squad here, backed up by an MG42 team. IS-2 being fixed up. Almost got the engine fixed. Got 93 versus 222. IS-2 gives away its position. That actually disrupts the engine from being fixed. And with that, I think, yeah, Ashablois senses the opportunity now. Goes straight for the IS-2 with everything they can sort of master without leaving themselves too vulnerable elsewhere. The Storm Panther basically come, they flank against infantry. Gonna go for that IS-2 heavy tank. Take it out here if the shots can pierce its armored hide. There you go. Panther getting ready to their shots and added. IS-2 almost knocked out. T-45, they're trying to move in, but it's not finding the courage here. And there you go in the south. IS-2 is about to get knocked out here by Ashablois. And with that, I think PFC will be very much dead in the water here as Ashablois. Well, having suffered 2 minutes loss, but there you go. Got the pack. So maybe there's still hope. Nope. Got GG here from PFC versus Ashablois. A fierce back and forth fight here was really impressive opening moments. Ashablois, though, really also did well coming back from some fairly unfavored position through I think, fairly smart fighting there. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Link. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for the last episode. Bye.